Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Avini Vibes. Today is June 19th, 2024, and I am so happy and blessed to be here. Excited that we have such a nice crowd in the house. I see all these some familiar faces and I see some guests in the room as well. So, we're just grateful that you took the time to be here with us. It's amazing company. We have amazing products. The leadership of the company is second to none, and we basically are out sharing and changing lives. Also, please remember, we're not here. We do not diagnose, we do not treat, we don't name disease. We're here to learn, educate, and be informed. Okay, and we're going to be really excited tonight about our guests. We have amazing guests tonight. We have Dr. Laurie Wallis from Health Beauty from Within. And I'm going to tell you a little story of how we met in just a moment. But I just, again, want to tell you, well, tonight's going to be, we're going to have you out of here in about 45 minutes tonight. In light of time, I'm in a little tornado warning. So if I just black out and gone, that's what happened. I'm hiding under the desk. Chip and I talked today, told me what I need to do just in case. So I am prepared. Yeah, thanks for being here again to Avini Vibes. This is amazing company, amazing products, and we're very, very grateful that we're all on this mission together. Laurie Wallace is with us, and welcome, Laurie. We're so happy that you're joining us this evening. And although Laurie is new to Avini, she has made history with Avini already, and I'll tell you how she did that. When Chip and Marcy Littlejohn came to Boca Raton, Florida, and spent a little bit of time down there a couple of months ago, I decided if they were going to be there, I was going down there too. So we got on a plane, went down there, and decided, right, Chip, we're going to have this little corporate event. And lo and behold, Neil says, "Well, this is the very first corporate event like this that we're hosting, that we're having. Go ahead, Christine, you can do the intro." I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I did the welcome at the door. And Tony, who's on here, Tony, wave your hand, Tony. Tony texted me and said we're stuck in traffic because Florida has lots of traffic, and but I have my guests coming tonight, and Dr. Laurie's going to come in the door. So walked to the door, knew exactly who she was. She's like, "Oh, you know me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I feel like I know you," and that's the spirit she has. So welcome, welcome. 25 years in the field of as an RN, and I'm going to let her tell her story, but she's in functional medicine. So welcome, Laurie. Welcome to
So,
Avini Vibes. The floor is yours, honey. Tell us your story, a little bit about yourself and what your
thank
career
you.
is.
Yes, I just wanted to say I'm a nurse, not a doctor, and it's 2025, Christine, not 2024.
Did I say 24?
You
Oh, time
did. So
flies. Yeah. All right.
I
Let's
know
start
I'm
over.
like,
June 19th, 2025.
we're in the wrong year. You're probably scared with all the like threatening thunder, tornado coming. You're probably like,
Yeah.
so anyway, yes, I'm Laurie Wallis. I'm a registered nurse for a very long time, but I've been doing functional medicine and holistic healing for 25 years. I have my own practice in Danville, California, and I moved to Boca Raton and I opened up my practice here probably like 6 months ago. I've been here for a couple years. I had a smaller office and I just expanded to a full-on whole wellness center because it's so important to have detox and a whole wellness center instead of just an office. I do biofeedback and functional medicine. I combine the two, which is really amazing to help find root cause of whatever's going on with you. Um, like Christina said, Tony called me. It was like a cold call kind of thing. And it just so happened that this event at Avini was coming up. I knew nothing about the company. I came in just totally cold. I listened to Tony. He said it's a wellness company that's newer in Boca, 5 minutes from my office. So I just came. I really knew nothing about the company or any of the products. And after seeing the presentation, I was very interested in the products. And now that I've been on the products for over a month, I just can't believe how many awesome products that are in this company. Because I'm in other MLMs where I like one or two products. I don't really do the whole MLM thing, but this company, I just fell in love with everything about it, from the people to the products to, you know, they own all the products, so we don't have to worry about anything happening where we're involved in this and then the products get, we get divorced from the products. So a lot of really good things about this company. Um, and I'm just really excited. Oh, so I have a testimony. I did the Plus Mind and Vision, and I know on the video from Rick Deitch, he says, oh, some people notice in about a week results for night driving and, night blindness and headlights coming at you where you're like blinded by that. And I've been having a real problem with that lately. And I said, oh my gosh, am I getting older where I have like a problem driving at night? So that was a concern of mine. So I was excited to jump on this product. And I was driving about 2 weeks ago. I was driving my friend back to her car at my office, and I had put my glasses on that I wear for night driving on my head. And usually I don't forget to wear them because as soon as I start driving, I realize I can't see. So it's like an automatic, I put my glasses on, right? Automatic reminder. So I drove all the way, like, I think it was like, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes actually. And I was almost to my office dropping her off at her car. And I went, oh my God, I don't have my glasses on. And she's like, they're on your head. And I said, no, I know that. I said, you don't understand why I'm so excited. I drove all the way here and I didn't have my glasses on and I can see. And I just totally realized that I was driving at night and I didn't need my glasses and I could see. And I think I was on this product for like 2 weeks. So I was pretty shocked that it worked that fast. So I love this product. I'm also trying all the other products, the Cell Defender. Oh my gosh, I have it right here. I'm doing it. I'm doing it more than 4 times a day just because I had a lot of heavy metals in my body. So I'm really excited about this product also. And after taking this about a day, I could actually feel like my brain was different and it almost seemed like my vision was better too from this product. So I'm just very excited to be here, very excited about the products. Don't even understand the comp plan yet. And it's like, I don't even care. I just love the product so much that I'm just excited to be here and telling my clients about these products. I've sold all the bundle packet that I bought, the $999 one. I'm selling everything and everybody is really excited. So yeah, I'm excited about all this stuff.
Laurie, I wanted to ask you a question. You're an RN and you've been in the field for 25 years in traditional medicine, and you've bridged the gap there because you bring both the knowledge of both into your practice,
Yep.
and that's got to be a beautiful thing. How do you find your patients, or how do your patients find you?
Well, I've been doing this a long time and I actually never spent a dime on advertising because it's word of mouth. I help someone and they are like just out there. I don't even tell them to please refer me people. I get like one person, I'll get like the mom or whatever, and then she'll be like, "Oh my gosh, my kids need you, my husband needs you, my neighbors need you," because all of us have issues and I kind of help with no matter what you have because when it's functional medicine, I just find root cause and I can help, and these products are great tools in my toolbox. So I work with all ages. I do distant, biofeedback works distant, and I order labs anywhere. So I just am very passionate about what I do. I've been studying natural healing since I was 11. I became a nurse, and now I just combine all of, Western and Eastern everything, homeopathy, biofeedback, energy medicine, everything vibrates at a frequency. Either you're vibrating at a healthy frequency or an unhealthy frequency. So I'm really into the frequency medicine and just helping people find root cause and helping them, heal it naturally. And that's possible. That was what people were doing before Western medicine. So, I mean, some things in Western medicine are needed, but there's always a natural choice to try at least before you get on medicine. So
Do you find that when your clients or your patients come, or they come more with an open mind, or do you find that someone's dragging them there and then you have to bring them through that whole educational process? I would think it would be the latter, but how does it, what's like what's a normal or what happens with the patient walking in the door? Most of them are somewhat open.
yes, most of them are open and have a lot of knowledge. And I'm like, thank you, God, because it's hard to take someone who gets none of this and try to talk them into, like trying like changing their diet. Some people are very like, you're not going to get me to stop eating gluten or dairy or whatever I find that they need to do. But that's rare. Most people come in and they want to get better. And most people have been sick for so long, they're willing mostly to do anything to just feel better, whatever their issue is. A lot of people just don't feel good ever anymore. They're exhausted. They don't know why. And if you don't know what's wrong, you can't ever fix it. So I tell people you can't fix it until you know what it is. So I help people find out what it is so then we could fix it. But I have some people that come in. Well, actually, last week someone was trying to get someone to come in. It was his fiance, and she hasn't been well for a while, and he really wants her to come see me. But then she ended up like not coming in because she was sleeping. She missed her appointment. I said, listen, if she's not on board, don't drag her in kicking and screaming because it's not going to work. Because I need someone's participation to help them heal. It's like I tell people I don't heal you. I'm going to teach you how to heal yourself. I'm only the teacher. So if you don't want to do the work, it's not going to work, right?
And you did say you do distant healing with people. You can do consulting with them over the phone, and you can order those labs wherever they live. So that's wonderful. Chip, Little John, he told me that he came to the office and was pretty excited about his experience there. Chip, did you have you want to share your experience?
Well, of course I do. So I did meet Laurie that very first evening, and that I noticed that she and Marcy spent some time at the end of the table, and uh, and she joined that night, and she joined at the highest, got the most product she possibly could, and so I knew she was out there, and I got to meet her. I always want to give credit to their sponsor because Via, I write in my notes. So Via Tony, and Tony was around, and Tony and his mom were both professional full-time network marketers, and I found that to be interesting as well. And anyway, they arranged to have a little get together at her shop, and it's really close to Avini headquarters and the lab. And I was in the area, so I just went over there, and that was really neat to go in. And most people have like a waiting area, but she has a greeting area, I would say. And so we gathered in the greeting area. Carol's friend from Linda was there, and Tony was next to her, and then Ed was there, and me and Laurie, and trying to think if there was somebody else there. Um, but that was most of us that were in the area, and we just started visiting, and had a really nice kind of informal in her office. And she is artistic. Everything was laid out beautifully. You would want to be in there. You would expect to get well if you're in there. High functioning, hard working, organizing. So when you went in, then she had a desk where you could meet her, and have some of the tests done. But then going down the lengthwise, she called it like, I think it was shake, bake, and cryo or something like that, because you could be on a device that just rattled your bones, and then you got into heat and light, and then she dipped you in ice, and she said when you walk out of here you'll feel like something has happened, and like you're more alive. And then fortunately, everybody there found that Avini, fit with their line of thinking, that it was attractive, and it is a bridge maker. A lot of people come, and it creates the friendships that you're talking about, and then I knew that she was there and that it was neat, and I was heading up that way to get some attention given to my knee. And I had just enough time. I called her up and I said, "Can I come and see you and like go through your deal and find out what you do?" And went over and did that, and got to talk to her again, and went through her thing. So I got to know what she does, and she knew a little bit more about what we do. And it was perfect because it kept my mind off of what I was about to do with a pin cushion, become a human pin cushion for about a half an hour, which turned out to be an okay thing. But it was really, really neat, to meet Linda and Tony and Laurie, and kind of interesting because none of us knew each other when we walked in. I mean, this was, well, not really. I mean, we just seen each other for minutes, and it was a chance to really get to visit and find out what each person knew and share. But three neat times I got to be around her, and now four. Now write that down. 4 times, Chip. So it
And
was really
thank you.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so happy she's here.
That's the beauty of this type of business, meeting somebody for the first time. I talk to Laurie once or twice a week now, right? We chat all
Yeah.
the time. We talk. She's driving to work and we're talking.
Yeah.
And yeah, so and then Tony also. Thank you, Tony. Tony, do you want to hop on a minute?
Sure.
Hey, Tony. Good to see you. And Tony's
Thank
another
you.
one who I just adore and love to meet as you bring people involving your team and your mom. And I met Tony. I have to tell the Tony story, okay? Tony and his mom came to an event was it in Florida? Where were
It
we? It was in
wasn't,
Florida.
yeah, I was in,
And the
it was in
lady,
a hotel and I had no idea what it was going to be. I have a friend of mine, Bagusha, and every time says something to me, I take it seriously because she doesn't send me on wild goose chases. She always sends me stuff that works. So she's like, so she's going to be in Boca, go to Boca. It's a little bit of a trek, but I was like, all right, Bagusha, I trust you. So I went. Um, of course, I didn't know that it was going to be like a whole event. So I just kind of went and we missed the whole meeting and everything like
yeah,
that.
hey, I gotta, many of you, know Heath, right? So I'm in the conference. The conference started at 8 o'clock. It's a quarter to four. It's over at four, quarter to four. Heath
We
comes over and taps me on the shoulder and goes, "You have two guests here." I'm like, "Now?
Yeah.
Really?" So it was just a
Yeah.
blessing to meet Tony and his mom. And as Chip said, they're professional inside and out. They know this model of business. They know good quality products, and that's why Tony is here. So the family's growing. Thank you, Tony.
Absolutely.
I'll see you in July. I'm coming back down to see you all. All right. Laurie, I know you have to leave, so you want to give opportunities. Anybody want to raise your hand and ask Laurie a question before you let her go? And then Ed Kowalski, EQ, is going to do some of the products for us. But anyone have a comment or a question for Laurie? This is your opportunity before we have to let her go because she's on a limited time tonight. Carol, I can't see all the screens now, so
I don't see any hands up.
okay, all right. So that's good, Lori. You did a wonderful job. And
Yeah, thanks for having me
what
on.
closing comments would you have for this community, Lori?
Oh
Christine,
my.
I have a question.
Okay,
Gary.
Gary.
So, what would you say to somebody who's dealing with thyroid issues?
Oh, you're asking me that question?
That's right.
Oh, okay. Yes, thyroid issues. I actually specialize in that. That was the first weekend-long functional medicine class I went to, and they handed me a 1,000-page binder, and I'm like, wait, I'm a nurse. I know the thyroid's here and what it does, but no, no, no. I learned so much. Yes. So thyroid issues, I would do a full workup on you because doctors, they order like TSH, T3, T4. That is not enough information. 90% of people who have low thyroid actually have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition. And that is why you have low thyroid because your body's actually attacking itself. So I don't know if you've been checked for Hashimoto's or
That's been ruled out.
oh, it's been ruled out. Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, did they do a full thyroid panel on you? Like to check everything? Because I do a full thyroid panel and it's 10 pieces to the puzzle because you can't figure out the puzzle unless you have all the pieces. So a lot of times like Western medical doctors don't order all the pieces to see what's going on, because it's pretty involved, more than just like, oh, your thyroid makes hormone, it's pretty involved. So if you want.
The naturopath did the um, T3, T4, vitamin 12, one other. There's maybe 4 tests related to it.
Yeah, I do way more than that because I go really
Okay.
deep to find out. But I could put a link for my phone number and you could call me and I could do a full workup on you.
Great. I'll take it.
Yeah. And then my products are natural thyroid glandulars, bovine from a cow, not porcine from a pig, and they're not synthetic like Synthroid. So I have a whole different approach. And my products from Apex Energetics, the company I work with for functional medicine, they actually have all the precursors of all the nutrients you need besides the thyroid glandular. So that's what I do. So,
And why from the cow and not the pig?
well, I don't do any pig products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not Muslim. I'm not Jewish. Pigs have
No.
a lot of issues that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Cows
that's
are
good.
healthier. Yeah, I don't want to get into all of
Okay.
the things about the pigs, but I can put my phone number down in the chat. I know everyone's like, "Are you Muslim? Are you Jewish?" I'm like, "Nope. I just know a lot about pigs, and I just don't ingest any pig products." And I'm Italian, so that's hard. I eat chicken, Italian sausage, not pork. So I will put my information down in the chat, and you guys could call me. Um,
Yeah, please, Lori,
yeah.
put it down in there. Tanya has a question.
Yeah, I do. It's Tana. Um,
Tanya, sorry about that.
that's okay. No, everybody gets it wrong. It's fine. Laurie, have you had much success with people who have MTHFR gene?
Oh, yes. That's a whole, I had a lady today, all her labs were great. And she had a lot of health issues and didn't feel good. And I'm like, bingo, I found out what it is. I said, you got great labs, except a few little things that make a huge difference. Yeah, I actually specialize in MTHFR too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. A lot of people have that. I always say, I wish to God that when we have our babies, that they would do like a full panel of, not a full panel, but at least a blood type and a few other very specific genetic SNPs. Because if they did that, we could actually have a blueprint of how we should raise our children, and we could teach them what they need as far as nutrition for their specific needs. And I think this would, especially that MTHFR one, would solve so many problems with depression and anxiety and addictions. That is huge with the MTHFR. And if people knew that and just knew the simple diet and supplementation to prevent all these things that go wrong when you don't methylate, it would be like life-changing and life-saving. And I work with people who have drug addictions and alcohol abuse and depression. They always have that because it's a whole cascade of things that go wrong when you don't methylate. So yeah, I'll put my number. You could definitely call me. I could help you out with that.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard it's like 40 to 70% of the population has it.
So many people. And every time I get someone in my office and I tell them, listen, this addiction thing is not your fault. It's in your genetics. They start crying because these people feel so bad, like it's their fault, like they're some kind of loser that chose to have an addiction. And I'm like, it's not your fault. It's your genetics, but we could fix it. We could supplement so you don't feel depressed and anxious. So you want to medicate with alcohol, or drugs. It's huge. And I really wish they would test like as soon as the kids come out and give the mom a blueprint and the dad a blueprint of here's what your kid has, here's what it needs to live a healthy life without depression or addiction. It could be game changing. I wish I could make a law where everyone had to have this test and then I could tell them how to raise their, like how to treat their kids to avoid many problems that a lot of people have.
Is that a test
Laurie.
that you provide?
Yeah, it's test. Yes, definitely. And I find it every time with people that have addiction or depression or anxiety. And it's such an easy thing to like fix. And once you explain to people, people start crying because they think it is their fault. And I'm like, it is not. You didn't know you had this. I don't know why doctors don't get this. You go to a psychiatrist and they just put you on meds that usually don't help and make people worse. The side effect of a lot of those is suicide. And if you're already feeling depressed and suicidal, that's like the worst thing you want to even like shoot a dart at and see if it sticks. Yeah, I've worked with so many people that have so many issues. And I always say this, listen, if you have an issue, it's never a deficiency of a pharmaceutical. It's deficiency of a nutrient, not a pharmaceutical. That's not the deficiency. So when you go to a doctor and they give you a pill, it usually doesn't really even work. It causes more issues. So I try to help people figure out something that'll actually help instead of something to mask symptoms or possibly create worse problems, right?
Laurie, a question. Can you define or say more about the term methylate?
Oh,
Yeah, it's read my mind.
methylation. Yeah, methylation is a whole process. So if you don't methylate properly and you take tryptophan, tryptophan is a precursor to serotonin, your happy hormone. But if you don't have this methylation process, even if you take a ton of tryptophan, it's never going to turn into serotonin. It's just this feedback loop that happens. And if you take tyrosine, L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid, to make your dopamine, if you don't methylate, you're not going to get to the dopamine. So these are people that are anxious, depressed. It's a whole feedback loop. A lot of times when people don't methylate, like I said, they have anxiety, depression. They could be more prone to addiction. They have more issues with blood clotting. They have issues with infertility. They have more issues with like ADD, sleep. It's a whole big basket of bad things that happen if you don't methylate. It's a huge thing, and it's a real easy fix, and a lot of people have it, and it's a big problem that unfortunately doctors aren't trained this way. So I'm not blaming them. They're just not trained in functional medicine and nutrition and all the things I study and I'm trained in. So it's not their fault, but I like when people come to me and I can help them.
We need
Great,
to
thank
know
you.
if the folic acid in our meal replacement is methylated or not. It doesn't say so on the bottle.
And it's probably not. And
Yeah.
then I mean, it should say if it is. It should be like a methylcobalamin or methylated folate or, but then there's other things too. You can't just take that in a supplement. If your blood type is A, which most people that have anxiety do have blood type A. If your blood type is A, you don't have enough intrinsic factor in your gut to actually turn your, to absorb the B12. So people that have blood type A have to take an oral supplementation of that to bypass digestion. So I'm going to put my contact information here.
Please do.
Thank you so
I
much.
think we need to have a whole nother call on this and spend an hour on this. But yeah, put that in there. And Laurie, we appreciate you being here with us tonight. And in respect of your time, we're just going to give you an applaud and put your contact there. Feel free to reach out to Laurie if you
Yeah.
have a question or concern. She's lovely and she'll work with you. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. This amazing company is literally like 8 minutes from my office. I'm like so excited
What's
to be so
beautiful
close.
is you didn't know that, right? Until
No,
Tony
Tony
called
called.
you and you walked through the door. So
I didn't know it. Tony Cole called me and he said, "Can you show up to this thing?" I knew nothing. Christina greeted me and she's like, "Are you Laurie?" And I said, "Oh, thanks for recognizing me." We just like hit it off right away. I'm like, "Oh, she already knows me."
So, Laurie, can I ask you a question before we lose you?
Sure.
With everything that you've talked about, do you bring this full circle with starting with the Cell Defender and our products?
Oh, yes. Now that I have your products, I am putting a lot of my patients on these products because who doesn't have heavy metal toxicity?
Yeah.
For sure, this is a huge game changer, way better than chelation because it's way safer than chelation because it just grabs the metals and they pulls them out. So EDTA, chelation, IV chelation, all that is
41 people on the call.
whoops. Alan, there you go.
I'm muted.
Sorry, I actually hit health and beauty from within and didn't put the rest of my information. I'm not good at multitasking. I will put my contact information in here. Like I said, if you all don't live in Florida, Boca Raton, where I'm at, I work with people all over the place. My biofeedback works on distant. I just need your information and it scans you and it tells me everything going on with you. And then I could order labs. So I do work distant as well. If you can't come to my beautiful wellness center.
All right. Laurie, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right.
welcome.
Everybody go right down. Eddie Kowalski, you're up. Why don't you just share a couple products with us and then Alan's gonna share a testimonial, okay?
Yeah, that's a hard act to follow, man. It's so impressive to me that, Chip always said and says that Avini attracts smart. Oh my God. Laurie, and I've been to her wellness center. It's so impressive, and her knowledge, the fact that she picked Avini is incredible to me. And I just learned so much. She blew my mind. But the thing that Laurie said that really kept getting to me was root, get to the root, right? And so I'm going to hit a couple of things real quick. One is going to be our tip of the spear, our Cell Defender. When you have heavy metals in your body, Rick Deitch took 7 years to develop this zeolite, which is formed when volcanic eruptions and lava hit salt water. And he was able to reduce this zeolite down, which is nature's filter, crush it, activate it, micronize it, meaning clean out these little cages, and then make them small enough to get into the bloodstream. And so when they go into the bloodstream, our zeolite, we call it detoxylite, goes in there, and it's a negatively charged mineral that attracts and is attracted to positively charged bad heavy metals, cadmium, aluminum, mercury, lead, arsenic. They love our little zeolite, and our little zeolite loves to capture them and take them away in throughout our urine. So what happens is the body is it's heavy metals and environmental toxins. Those two things, if you Google those, that is most cause of disease anywhere in the world are those two things. So the heavy metals, that is the biggest thing and we could survive on Cell Defender if we had no other product. The heavy metals that come out of our body through this, you take one drop of Cell Defender, that's 200,000 cages going in your body looking for bad heavy metals, and then we flush them out. So the Cell Defender, nobody else has it. They have it, but they don't know how to micronize and activate it. Rick Deitch is the only biochemist on the planet knows how to do that. Then the second one, the 1-2 punch, is the nano silver. Our nano silver is a spherical silver. It's not like ionic silver or colloidal silver, which is too big. Ionic is too small. Ionic silver goes in the body, messes up the immune system. Colloidal silver is too big. It clumps up. And you see the blue people. If you Google blue people, colloidal silver, you'll see them. It's irreversible. They're blue forever. And doesn't necessarily kill them. But if you have a label that says don't take too much, then that's always a red flag. So our spherical silver goes in the body. It finds bacteria, fungus, anything alive in the body. The Cell Defender takes care of the dead stuff, the heavy metals, the bad heavy metals. The nano goes in and it finds the live things, the critters, the parasites. All those things are targeted by the nano silver. And when they're targeted, they're illuminated. When they're illuminated, the white blood cells kill them. Where the white blood cells don't kill them, then the Cell Defender takes over, or the next thing I'm going to get to is our mushrooms take care of them. So we literally have an army that goes in. You got Cell Defender first, and you got the nano. Now we're killing the dead stuff, the live stuff. Where anything is missed, the mushrooms go into the body. We have 7 non-GMO medicinally grown mushrooms. They fight for survival together, and this is our Z-immunity. So the Z-immunity mushrooms go in now. Now you got the third component of our army coming in. They have basically, it's like walkie-talkies in the body. Talk to one another and say, okay, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see? And these mushrooms have to fight to survive. Think about it. You got 7 of the most powerful medicinal mushrooms on the planet. They're fighting to live. They're fighting to get to the sunshine. And they have to fight predators. They have to fight the sun, the light, the dark, the heat, the cold, all that stuff. So when they fight and they live, they're fighters. Then when they're capsulated by Rick into these capsules that go into our body, they go in your body and they fight for your body to live. So now you've got 1-2 punch, mushrooms coming there as a third. Now, last thing, I'll hit this real quick. The plus relief, I'm going to hit that because this is what Alan Way calls, and I always forget what he says, it is our most, Alan.
Charismatic.
Charismatic. Our most charismatic product. And here's the thing that's so cool about our plus relief. It basically shuts down temporarily the pain and inflammation in your body. It attaches to receptors, but it doesn't mask it. Now, when plus relief goes into the body, okay, we've got Asian cobra venom. 1/10,000th of a concentration of Asian cobra venom goes into the body, and it basically it limits it for a time, but over time you take more and more of it. That pain, I tell you what, the gel, you put the gel on within 15-20 minutes, immediate. It's immediate. So this is the only product we have that happens immediately. Now, when you look at over time, you keep putting it on, it doesn't hurt you. It cannot hurt you. But when you take traditional pain meds, what you have to keep doing is take more and more and more and more, and they hurt you more and more and more. There's no smell to it. It cannot hurt you in any way. We have it in a spray, a roll-on, and a gel. And this is a conduit in many cases to people discovering our other products because they get immediate relief. So I hit those 4 quickly, but there's a few others. But you can look at our testimonies that we have, over a couple thousand, and that is not to mention the personal ones that we all get on the phone. And guys, I'll just tell you this. If Avini never paid me a dime over the last 28 months to promote and to share these products, I would be taking them anyway, the same way I'm taking them now. They just pay me to do that. Somebody's got to get paid, but this is a blessing and it's a privilege to be able to share these products with other people because we're preventing things from happening. we're changing lives, and we're saving lives, people walking out of hospice. So there's nothing else like it. What we have, guys, we got to get out there and share it with everybody.
Great job, Ed. Alan, thank you, Eddie, so much. EQ, that's what I call him. We call him Alan Way. Alan's going to share his testimonial. Got a few minutes left, Alan. So if you would, we want to hear your story.
I'll be as quick as I can. Thank you very kindly. And thank you, Ed, and Laurie and Gary for asking your questions too. My story is kind of a long one, but I'll try to make it brief. In January of 23, Ed Kwaski called me one night, and we had a conversation about Avini. He had just gotten in a few hours before that. And Barbara, my wife of 56 plus years now, went to the doctor just a few days before that, and the doctor informed us that she was in third stage renal failure, and he offered no solution or anything for her situation. And just, it was good fortune and God's providence that caused Ed to call me. And of course, this is a very true and factual story. But Ed called and he said, in the process, he asked if I knew anybody that had any kidney problems, for example. He said, ding, 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 ding. It was a bell ringing winner when he asked that question. So I quickly went on his website and saw what he was trying to inform me of. And in the process, before he even asked me to join, I'd already got ready to sign up and did. So we got the products a few days later. I started Barbara on Cell Defender and Z Immunity mushrooms and some other products as well. And not knowing what the result was truly going to be, because the doctors didn't offer her any solution whatsoever for her situation. So 6 months later, July of 23, we went back to see the same doctor. He had the blood test results when he came in the room that day from her January and from her July blood tests. And he said, I want to read to you from these 2 pages. And he read the categories and the numbers of the first one. And then he went to the second page. And before, just as he was getting ready to read them, a little small, sly smile came across his face. And he paused for a second. And he started reading those. The categories were the same. The numbers were different. And Barbara and I both noticed that, but not knowing, I didn't know what any of those numbers meant. When he got through, he said to her, he could not hide his zeal, it seemed like, but he said to her, this is a big deal. Oh, what changed in your life? And Barbara correctly said, I don't know. He said, you must know, very emphatically, because this is a big deal. It doesn't happen in life like this unless something big has happened. So you must know what it was. And I want to know what it is. And Barbara threw her thumb over her shoulder like this, asked him, he might know. So the doctor did turn to me. He said, do you know what it is? I said, absolutely. You want to take notes or what? He said, no, just tell me what happened. I said, well, when you gave us that information when we saw you in January, just a few days after that, I found out about a line of products that could help her, and I started her on those products immediately. That's the only change. Her diet hasn't changed. Her activities haven't changed. The only change in her life is these products. So he asked, what's in these products that makes you think that they work so good they can do that? And I said, well, again, you want to take notes? He said, no, just tell me. Okay, I'll tell you. So zeolite, do you know what zeolite is? And he said, I want you to tell me what you think it is and what it does. So I did somewhat similar to what Mr. Kwaski did a minute ago. I told him what it was and what it does. And his, as soon as I finished talking, he said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So the difference was significant. Our lives both have improved because of Barbara's improved health caused by that. So my suggestion to anyone who may be listening, whether you're a guest tonight, perhaps there are some guests there, or someone else who knows anyone who has similar conditions as a third stage renal failure situation, immediately get them started on Cell Defender and Z Immunity mushrooms and perhaps some of our other products. We're on just about everything that Avini makes, with only a couple of exceptions. So I recommend they get started immediately. The results were powerful, and for me, they're very exciting as to what happened with Barbara, and we're looking for bigger things in the future. So for me, what this means and the results of it, getting me to leave Avini ever would be about like as difficult as trying to get a hungry dog away from a hamburger. You know, I'm here to stay. We appreciate the company. We appreciate the people who interact with us. And if I never make another penny, I'm hanging in here. I love it. We have gotten promoted many times over the last couple of years, and I love the whole opportunity that we have. So, Christine, is that quick enough?
Alan, that's beautiful. And I want to say, Alan, you know, I think from day one you were on this call with the four of us. So look at how it's grown. We had a lot of people. It's growing each week. And what was really a blessing is when we went to the conference in Las Vegas and the conference started and I looked up and there was Alan Way. If many of you remember Alan's testimonial, there was a lot more to it. And they showed it at the conference. So we do have that recording if you'd like to hear the second part of the story. So thank you everyone so much for being here tonight. We're going to call it an early night, but I just want to tell you how grateful that you all come and show up. And we're going to see you next week. Next week we have Bev Ellis on. Chip, why don't you just come on for a moment, say goodnight. And Bev Ellis, you know her well. She's going to be with, she's a diamond and she's from Prince Edward Island, right, Chip?
And she's also a nurse and a dear friend for many years. One of those people who always finds a way to help. And she's made a network marketing career out of that trait. She always finds something that she can do to help. And I've been up there to see her. She lives up there where the lobsters are, and she was one of those girls that, like Marcy, took on her dad's business acumen, and you know she was the one to be trusted with the family businesses, and she took care of her parents till they were about 100. I got to meet her mom and dad, and you'll love Bev. Good old, hardworking in the trenches network marketer and healthcare person. Has had her own test with being highly sensitive to everything. Marcy and she shared that experience and have found their way through it together, and now they're quite encouraging to others.
Great. Thank you, Chip. Yep. So that was our preview. That means y'all got to come back next week. So listen, God bless each and every one of you. Keep going out and sharing. Keep sharing your stories, share the products, and hope. That's what we're here to do. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being with us. See you next week.
Night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.